How's it going, my Cinema Lemon Nation? Welcome to another fun episode with Gerald over here. Other than that, we're going to be talking some Scream 7 news, some exciting stuff with Patrick Dempsey and Neve Campbell possibly coming back for the next installment of Scream. Here we go. Of course, getting right into it, we all know Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera are gone from the Scream franchise. What does this mean exactly? And so this is exactly what I think is going to happen in the beginning of the next Scream film. Theories are kind of coming up here and there in my head that I'm just like, I gotta get this out, I gotta release this, I gotta tell you guys about this. I think that Gail Weathers should be our first victim. It'll be the first time other than Scream 3, when Cotton Weary got killed by the killer, that we open up with a main character as a victim again. This would kind of bring on the trend of at least somebody well-known dying in the third installment of each franchise ending. Now, if Gil gets the boot on this, I think it's going to open a lot of doors for a bunch of different characters to kind of be introduced, or for past characters to kind of come back into this. Now, we have rumors that Patrick Dempsey and Neve Campbell are on the waiting list to get signed on to Scream 7 and come into this in a whole different perspective. This is something exciting to me because being a long-time Patrick Dempsey fan and Neve Campbell fan, it is super exciting to see characters coming back, possibly to finish off what they kind of started already. We all know there was some sort of love interest thing going on between these two back in Scream 3, between Sidney, Prescott, and Mark Kincaid. This is something that I think I can again predict to actually happen. Now, making this next installment more fully about who Sidney Prescott is in this day, we can turn this whole thing around and make it more of like that Halloween situation. You know, the David Gordon Green films that just came out from Blumhouse these past few years, and honestly, I think that David Gordon Green did a spectacular job with those movies. Not a lot of people actually liked the third installment, Halloween Ends, but I honestly really enjoyed it. I took my wife to go see that in the theater. It was so much fun to see such a unique character kind of make his way back into this and finally get the boot. I think that this is something that can happen in Scream 7. Now, Neve Campbell will never die in this franchise. She is way too iconic. She is way too subtle into the character already. This is an opportunity for us to explore a little bit more behind that and possibly, just possibly, kill Mark. Now, I'm not saying Mark should be a sudden death in the middle of the film. I think that he should be a unexpected death moving towards the end of the movie in the third act. Now, the third act, of course, we all know is kind of run the same way throughout every single Scream film, but hear me out on this. Now, if they were able to bring back Sidney Prescott, Mark Kincaid, as well as Kirby, this would be something awesome for us all as Scream fans to see all three of these characters come into one movie and really just make a change for the storyline in a different direction. So then we can kind of boot off of that particular project and honestly come up with more Scream stories. Now, Scream is one of those series where you don't have to end it right away. There's so much more you can explore. There's so much more fun and thrilling things you can do within a Scream movie that can make it entertaining still, that can make it more exciting for people to want to come back and actually see more. Now, I was thinking back during my first time watching these films. Now, the way that Neve Campbell has developed the character of Sidney Prescott over time has really set expectations high for her character. This meaning that, honestly, the studios are wrong. They need to pay her exactly what it is that she's inquiring for this particular role and what her worth is. I respect her as an actress. I respect her as a person. I think she highly deserves a good salary in order to get this done. And that's also going to make it more worthwhile. We actually get to see Sidney Prescott make that comeback that we were looking for the entire time. Radio Silence did a fantastic job with Scream 5, and it was actually not a bad film. I do think there were a lot of hiccups in this movie, points in the movie that just really didn't make sense, and there was a scene at the very end of Scream 6 that made me hate that movie so much more, is when Detective Bailey rushed at Melissa Barrera's character of Sam Carpenter with a loaded gun. And Gerald over here freaked the out because he didn't understand what the was going on. Why did he rush at her? Each killer has feelings. They are in this for a specific reason. They're not just doing this for nothing. Now, Mickey was the most psychotic one out of all of them. You believed he was a psychotic asshole. It's all a psychotic game. That's all this is about. And moving it forward, give us an outcome that is actually going to scare us. Give us an outcome that is actually going to make us feel like how everyone felt back when the original Scream movie came out. Now, the 1996 classic of Scream was honestly one of the most iconic breakthroughs in slasher horror history. This movie really changed it for the benefit, and I think that honestly, if you create originality from originality that continues the originality that it had before but gave it a more unique twist to its modern day setting, that is going to really give us a loving story that we just won't be able to get enough of. People are going to be going back to like Paramount Plus and watching this movie over and over and over again because of how damn good it was. But bringing Patrick Dempsey back into this, Courtney Cox, Neve Campbell, is going to make all of this so much more fun, and this is going to give us a plot that is going to conclude Neve Campbell, Sidney Prescott's story completely, and it's going to look beautiful. So with that said, guys, what do you guys think about all these theories? What do you think about my theories for the beginning of Scream 7? Leave your thoughts and comments down below. Subscribe to the Lemon Nation if you haven't already. And as always, guys, Gerald